everything you know about Hispaniola might be wrong. Stop. What if I told you that one of the biggest historical debates in Americas isn't being taught correctly? I'm Richard Encarnacion, and today I'm going to challenge any PhD historian specializing in Caribbean history to a public debate using primary historical documents, not social media opinions. Here's the question. Did the entire island of Hispaniola share the same history? No. By the late colonial period, the western side, the French Saint-Domingue, had developed into one of the world's largest plantation economies built on enslaved labor of Africans. The eastern side, under Spain, followed a completely different path shaped increasingly by cattle ranching frontier settlements and a different legal and economic system. Yet many discussions begin with 1791 or 1804, as if nothing important happened before. But what about 1496 when Saint-Domingue was founded? What about the early African and indigenous resistance movements? What about Maria Olofa, the 1521 Christmas Rebellion, and Sebastian Lemba, Enriquillo, and the agreements negotiated with the Spanish crown? Why are these events so rarely part of the conversation or international conversation? Then came the 1605-1606 devastation of Azores, which reshaped the Spanish colony and influenced its economy for generations. Nearly a century later, the 1697 Treaty of Ryswick divided the island between the Spain and France. From that point onward, the two colonies continued to develop in dramatically different ways. Then came the Haitian Revolution. It transformed world history, and it destroyed enslaved in the French Saint-Domingue and created the first independent African republic in the American, or the first Black Associated Republic. That achievement deserves recognition. But here's the question to historians. Should historians discuss, or does the history of the French colony automatically explain the history of the Spanish colony? We all know it does not. Or are those two distinct historical experiences another question? If Santo Domingo existed from 1496, if Dominican's identity appears in colonial records long before the independence of the African slaves, why do so many people begin Dominican history only in 1844? Is a nation's cultural identity the same thing as its political independence? Those are not the same questions. History deserves nuance. History deserves archives. History deserves evidence. So here's my challenge, not to YouTubers or TikTokers, not to influencers, to historians. Bring your peer-reviewed publication like I have, JSS. Bring your archival sources like I have, and I'll bring some Spanish and French and Haitian and British and Caribbean records. Let's compare the evidence in public, because history never be decided by politics. It should be decided by documents, documentation, and evidence. If you're a historian willing to debate the documentary records, my invitation is open to you. Let's have the conversation. The world deserves the conversation. This is Richard Encarnacion, MBA and PhD studies verified researcher with the Dominican government approved research, JSS approved research, PhD studies at UWI, PhD study at Alliance International University, University of Cambridge history scholar approved, former professor of SDUSI and U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and grandson of the Dominican Ranchero family. Bring your facts, and I'll bring world facts to you so we could disprove the fallacy once and for all. And make sure to follow, like, and comment below.